Well, what do you know? E3 has started. I mean, probably nothing big has happened. Nintendo's already told us everything. Sega's already told us everything about Sonic Forces, and, the other companies probably can't pull anything out of their arse. I'll stick my head in. It's not like I'm gonna see anything I wasn't expecting. E3 is an uncertain time for gamers. I mean, it can either be beautiful, like Nintendo sometimes does, or it could be whatever Ubisoft 2015's presentation was. Last year was no exception, just it didn't have as much bravado to it. All the good games had either been released, riding a tempest of hype, or was being obscured by the aforementioned tempest of hype. Pokemon Sun, more like Pokemon can't see the sun anymore because it's being obscured by Breath of the Wild. The only games to come out smelling of roses from last year's E3 were Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, Battlefield 1, and For Honor. However, it's very clear that with the advent of the Nintendo Switch, competition has become tough, so everyone's upped their game, and to great results. Sonic Forces released a new trailer to try and quell the fan base about the custom character. They have shown us such new zones as City Escape, but it's on fire, and Green Hill Zone, but it's Titanfall. We were also introduced to a new gauntlet of old villains, and it finally manages to do what Lost World couldn't: make Zavok look threatening. We were also given a new villain, which gives me two things to wonder. One, I bet that he's going to be your custom character, but from the future. And two, I bet he's going to betray Eggman and become the final boss. It's not like it hasn't been done before. We were also given big news in the form of Metroid, as we got a reveal for two games, them being Metroid Samus's Return and Metroid Prime 4. But all we know about Prime 4 is that it exists, so I think the main news is Metroid Samus's Return. Samus's Return looks to be a remake of Metroid 2, which does explain why they shut AM2R down, because they kinda stole their idea. I'm just glad they're giving us a proper Metroid game on the 3DS, because the last one was, Metroid Prime Federation Force. The sad thing is, that game wasn't even the worst thing at E3 2015. But the only people to come out smelling of roses from that one were Bethesda. The others were...
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel.
Super Mario Odyssey just released the mechanic of putting your hat on things so you can possess them. This does seem like a fun game gimmick, but it's also possibly a horrible Geneva Convention's banned war crime. The upcoming Spider-Man game gave us a good look at Spider-Man's universe as we finally get a good sandbox of Manhattan. But heck, The Division set the bar pretty low in that aspect, so it's not likely this is going to be worse than that. After last year's success for EA with Battlefield, but we put more effort into the campaign, they decided to step it up this year with Battlefront, but we put more effort into the campaign. Of course, I'm kidding, this is a sick game from the looks of it. Also, it comes with exo jumps. No game can go wrong with exo jumps. Get it? It's a transition. Call of Duty World War II just revealed its multiplayer trailer, and heck, it looks to be better than Call of Duty Infinity Ward runs out of ideas. Fans weren't satisfied with it, as it wasn't as good as the previous game, Call of Duty Treyarch runs out of ideas. This game looks to be better, but, I'm worried the SJWs will get to it, because they're adding people who weren't in a World War II setting. I mean, I'm not sure, I'm not really a COD fan, I'm not sure if I should buy it, and oh my god, is that a flamethrower? Although there should be a way to make it more accurate. That's better. All I have to do now is W plus M1 and we're gonna have a barbecue. In a surprise plot twist from Microsoft's conference, we finally learnt that Sea of Thieves is in fact a thing. It only took them 20 plus years. Now this has a long story to it. Originally starting life in the SNES era, Nintendo wanted Rareware to make them an RPG themed around pirates. However, eventually Rareware shifted development and made it into Banjo-Kazooie. The game looks good, but you've got to play it with friends, because otherwise steering the ship would just be a nightmare if you're doing it with random strangers. It looks to kind of be like No Man's Sky, but with pirates. No Man's Sea, if you will. But if that doesn't tilt your head, then, of course, remember, you can play Flight of the fucking Valkyries on an accordion. That's how you win Game of the Year. So what has this year's E3 taught me? Well, it taught me I need to get one of two things. Either a life, or a modern gen console. Now, considering I run a YouTube channel called MetaKnuckles1642, the former is out of the question. My current footing in the console market is a 3DS as of current, and that's about it. Not that the 3DS isn't great, heck, it's got Bravely Default and Pokemon games. I'm happy. If I had to choose a console, I'd probably pick PS4 because I like the look of the games. If not, then I'd happily settle for Nintendo. It's also got great games, and heck, it's Nintendo, and heck, maybe even an Xbox One. That should be all for this week, and wait. Shit, I forgot to mention the PC Master Race. Do you know what happened to the last person who didn't? Okay then, I might not be around next week.